Hello, I'm Chris Cunningham, founding member of ClickUp. I was our first sales rep, our first customer service rep, and since then, I needed to find leads when I was doing sales, and I found a really cool way to do that was through creators, and this was back in 2017. So now today, I work more on the branding and influencer marketing side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all the secrets. I've been to many of these, and I know how they typically are. They kind of give you a little bit of fluff, a little bit of generic things. I'm really going to give you a lot of secrets and show you exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to give you numbers. So anyone who's looking to build out a creator program in tech, this track is definitely for you. So brands and creators build awareness and stand out. The first thing I want to let you know is that I think the biggest thing people mess up on, especially in this field, it's not just influencers anymore. Influencers are, back for water bottles or things like that when they would just grab the product and show it to you. Influencer marketing has changed. When you think of an influencer, you probably just think of someone who has a camera, a following, and a lot to say. But in tech, it's a lot different. It's niche based. So you're going to find out what platforms work best for you. But what I found is no matter what platform you're working in, you better find thought leaders. What I mean by thought leaders are, think about this. When someone starts a new job, they have no idea what they're doing. Everyone acts like they do, but we all know good and well once they start, they're not exactly sure. So what do? They go online, they search, and they all have different platforms they prefer. Some like TikTok, some like Instagram. But no matter what, if you're trying to learn, you have those certain people who you start connecting with and you learn the most from. Those are who you want for your business. I'll give you examples of what works for ClickUp. ClickUp is project management software. For any of you who don't know, we're here just to make the world more productive. So in my mind, I'm looking for any thought leaders and spaces of that. Sales need to be more productive. Copywriters need to be more productive. Developers need to be more productive. Marketers need to be more productive. So in my world, it's a little different. I can reach out to all types. For your product, think of what that is for you. I'll give you some examples of my top performers. Toby is at Shopify. And another good thing when you're in this space, make sure you get people work at real companies. There's nothing better than having an influencer who's at an already well-set company that you can have talking about your brand. So Toby's at Shopify. He has over 100K on LinkedIn, which if you don't know, followers on LinkedIn are much more valuable, in my opinion, than almost any other platform. They're also harder to come by on LinkedIn. So 100K on LinkedIn is a big deal. Toby is an amazing, huge influencer for us and definitely a thought leader in his space. Hannah's definitely a little different form. She's on Instagram. She's living her best life. She was on The Bachelor, and now she's becoming a businesswoman, and she's showing how she does that through ClickUp. Ken is on TikTok. Ken is awesome. If you think of anything business on TikTok, he is the guy. He's worked at Walmart, at Google, which is why he's perfect for us. He understands tech. He speaks to all different types of people in business, e-com, all the above. Jesse Puggi, if you're on Twitter, you know about him. He gives away so much value. So these are thought leaders. And you have to really engage with them. It's not like an influencer contract that you think of in the past. You can't just send them a cold email and just say, hey, what's your price range? It's different than that. The way I got in touch with all of these people was not by just sending them a cold email. It was not through an agency. It was through myself. I've been building my own brand as well, which I do recommend for anyone who is at a company trying to do so. But I built my own brand. I engaged with each one of these you see here. I made friends with them. And then I said, look, how can we work together? And most of these people I'm working with, and especially the ones you see here, it's not just about me paying them and then them talking about ClickUp. I had trainers that taught them ClickUp. I want to make sure they use ClickUp because, one, it's not real. In tech, imagine trying to get someone who knows nothing about your brand talking about it. It's ugly. I've tried. Trust me, in the early days. They have to understand it. So you need to get them a trainer. You need to get them in the product. That is the first and foremost before you even start. Make sure they use your product. Secondly, there's ways you can help them too. Jesse has a business. Toby works at Shopify. We have millions of users. I can put them in front of those users and make them look good as well. So one, it will cost me less. Two, this doesn't look like just I'm paying them and they're talking about us. This is a partnership. We're growing together. I care about these people. I want them to do well. And I highly recommend you do the same with the thought leaders you choose for your brand. Anyone needs help with this, please hit me up. I know tons of them. I love helping out. So what I'm going to do now is I want to go into each and every platform and give you my strategy. I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. I don't mind to tell you what I'm spending, all this good stuff. So the first one I want to talk about, and what I think is probably one of the best for tech, is YouTube. Why YouTube? One, it's evergreen. Anything you make on YouTube is there forever, right? A TikTok is hot for a bit and it's gone. Same with Instagram Reels. But YouTube, it's there. I might search something years later and still get clients from it. That's a big part of it. 2, it can help with SEO. A lot of people forget about that. And 3, it's the main place where people go to learn. You know it is. A lot of people go learn from it. So let me show you how some things that I've done that are really different here. What you're going to learn is when you first hop in the space and you start reaching out to YouTubers and you say, hey, I want you to represent my brand. I want you to talk about it. I want you to use it. Right away, they're just going to say, oh, we can do, a 1-minute little shout out. You can sponsor this post. But that's just like a TV commercial. So there is value in that, but it's also gone quickly. It's just that one episode. It's there. It's cool. But for people, a lot of times they do skip those. So what I like to do and what I've built is I like custom influencer YouTube channels. This is something new. There are definitely a few other companies who do it, but it's just something new that I am really just getting into, but I'm having great success already. So I'll give you an example. ClickUp, again, we're all about being productive. So think about what you're all about as well and find creators like that. What I did was I found Francesco. Francesco is from Keep Productive. He's amazing if you haven't watched the channel. If you ever want to be more productive, you should absolutely check it out. What I did was I started consuming his content and I loved it. And I thought about maybe having him, create a video that we posted, which I did. And I've also done ads with him and they were successful. But then I thought, what about something evergreen? Like people really trust this guy in the space. Most people, when they're making a decision in productivity, they go to Keep Productive and see, because he will break down ClickUp versus Asana or any of your competitors. And he's very honest, which I like about that. People want to feel honest. When they go to just your channel, they know you're going to sell them. They know that you're biased and that you care about your channel the most. But when you use a new influencer, they trust them and they should, especially when you get one who's consistent and keeps driving that consistent content. So Francesco will never go above and beyond to say that we're perfect. He will also say where our flaws are. And that's what I like. So people can really learn that. But I had him create Keep Productive with ClickUp. And it's doing really, really well. So Keep Productive with ClickUp has been growing fast. We already have about 20 videos up. And it just started with regular videos. These videos were him going through the product, him comparing us versus other products, as well as going into actually showing people how to use the tool, trainings, and more. And what we're rolling out next month, which I highly recommend you try, is customer stories. These customer stories are awesome. They are literally like one of the main parts where people learn and trust your business. And you can choose different type of customers. We all have different types. I have marketers. I have copywriters. So Francesco will go sit down with them. He's a third party. He's a new resource, and he'll learn from them. And he'll do videos speaking the same. So as you can see, we'll go through the entire single parts of the platform. Like at the top left, you'll see him going through. So again, find a creator you trust. And the best piece of advice I can give you, and I'll reiterate this throughout, make sure you trust the creator. If you try to give them a brand guideline and tell them exactly what to say, it's gone. These people can feel it when someone's being fake or when they're not being genuine or when they're saying something's not their work because they follow them because of what they say. So, of course, give them an idea of what your goal is. But at the end of the day, trust the creator. Do not give them too many revisions and do not tell them what to say. I promise you, it just hasn't worked. The next thing, I'm sure you've heard about it, but have you tried it? Probably not, because most people haven't. YouTube Shorts. They're not that complex, and I can tell you how to get involved really quickly. YouTube Shorts are how everyone is growing their YouTube channels now because it's really quick to get new audiences, and you can show the value you add in a very quick space, and then they can come and see all the full versions. The easiest thing to do, think about all your vertical content you're already creating. I'm sure you're making something for TikTok or Instagram Reels. If you're not, we'll get to that coming up soon. But if you are, repurpose it. Seriously, take it, repurpose it, chop it up, change it a little bit, because a big tip here is people do notice. The platforms will definitely notice if you take a video and bring it the exact same way over. But if you change it, try a new hook, it's good for testing as well. Make some small changes and really dive in. But I can't stress enough how much you should try YouTube Shorts. The next channel is LinkedIn. And look, I said it earlier, but LinkedIn is extremely valuable. Most people on LinkedIn obviously have a job, or they're looking for jobs, but most people are really looking to learn. They take more time on LinkedIn. It's not just a quick scroll to video. On LinkedIn, they're reading, they're getting to know, they're going through brands. So LinkedIn is one you really want to take your time on, but there's also a longer term strategy now as well. So here's the new thing I'm doing, because you guys all know about having someone post on LinkedIn, but what you might have not seen is LinkedIn Lives. And I'll give you the strategy. So I was on just last Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays ago, I was on the Revenue Marketing Whiskey Wednesday. It was fun. You have a glass of whiskey, you hang out, and you give tips. And I had no idea what I was getting into, but this is where I found out how important LinkedIn Live is. So the strategy that they use that I want to give to you is, if you haven't heard of StreamYard yet, check it out. They're really awesome. But what StreamYard allows you to do is not just go into a live, but you can make this live like a show. You can literally have people commenting in. It can pop up live, prizes, interaction. You can add in more people. You can highlight someone. So if it's my turn to talk, I come in the screen. But let's say we're all four doing a panel, then it moves out to that. So you really, really should check out StreamYard. And then from there, the other big bonus about StreamYard is not only am I going to LinkedIn Live, but I can also go to YouTube Live and other platforms. So it's a really good way to stream in multiple places. It duplicates your efforts. It's really, really good. So now let's go into influencers. And again, if you're going to do a LinkedIn Live, you probably don't want to do it yourself. You need to find these influencers. You can see I was there with Kevin Dorsey, who again has like 100K on LinkedIn. Leslie was awesome as well, probably 20, 25K. You need to have some people or else you might not have much reach. But on this Whiskey Wednesday, there was 300 or 400 people plus, which is awesome. And then it's recorded, so I don't even know how many watched it afterwards. And they even had an after party and all that where people can hang and get more personal. But I highly recommend finding something consistent that you do. Because if you look at any major brand, you look at Hootsuite, you look at Gong, they have these. They have what's called office hours or happy hour or lunch. They have different time frames. They make it consistent. And that's what you want to do. You want to find a certain thing that helps your customers, right? Add value, teach them, then get influencers or thought leaders and have them come in the space. You need to plan it out ahead of time. You need to make sure it's smooth. It does take some work. But look, any brand who has 200 or 300K plus on LinkedIn, they're doing this. And we're not there yet. And that's why I'm starting to do this for ClickUp. And I really hope you do as well. The next thing is, if you are having influencers post for you on LinkedIn, one, do not just have them talk about your brand blatantly. It really gets throttled in the reach. So if you look at the example I have here with Jan's just talking about templates. Sure, he tags ClickUp partner in there, which is great, but he's not over talking about ClickUp. He's not overly talking about our page. And a lot of times you can even have them put those tags in the first comment or any docs or links, because another thing you have to keep in mind on these platforms, and especially LinkedIn, is if you try to take them away from the platform, they're going to throttle your reach for that. They don't want people leaving the platform. They want people spending time. So find a way to work with the influencer that allows them to spend time in there. Another thing is people do not think about videos right now on LinkedIn, but we have, and it's been great for me. I've had I think my most engaged post was a video I did that have over 500 likes, which is pretty strong on LinkedIn, especially for my following. So don't sleep on videos, don't sleep on tutorials. But again, you can have that strategy in which someone talks about your brand. The way that we do it, and I'll show you about this again on Twitter, but what I'll do on LinkedIn is I'll have someone give a lot of value. The lessons, the breakdowns, all of that. But they'll say, hey, this is too much to type for LinkedIn. For the full version, go to ClickUp. Or they won't say go to ClickUp. They'll say for the full version, go to this doc here. The doc is a ClickUp doc, but they're not saying ClickUp. They're not overly pushing ClickUp. Users are just going to get the value. So find a way to do that for your brand too, to bring your brand in, but not too much. Instagram. We all know this is a tough one. There's been a lot of changes in the algorithm. It's not very easy to grow. I'm sure you've been told to double down on Reels, as you should. But let's talk about a few more tips, because you can't just post random Reels. It's not going to work. You need to be telling a story. You need to have a purpose, a reason they come back. Otherwise, they're not going to keep engaging with the content. So here's what we did. And this was very successful. One of our best posts that we've had. I built out a little contest. In this contest, I said, hey, I'm calling all creators. I want you to let me know if you want to sign up for a huge competition. And this competition is a mystery box. I have a cool prize in which we'll fly them out to San Diego, take them to the Padres playoff game, which how do you beat that? We're actually glad we made it to the playoffs, or I would have been in trouble with this one. But the goal of this competition is to have people get this mystery box. I'll learn about the creator, and then I put different items in there. They get the mystery box. They, one, make a video creating, how they got the box, which is cool, and what's in it. And then two, they're going to try to make a video out of these random items in there. So there's a couple reasons why this is good. One, it's fun. Two, I need content, as I'm sure you do. I'm tired of going out and trying to get people to make content, and there's no better content than UGC. So why not build UGC into what you're trying to do? And that's exactly what we did here. So now people have to create multiple videos, one of them getting the box and another of what they create with the box. And then I can get my audience involved, because now ClickUppers can see, oh man, this is kind of cool. They're getting this box. They're trying to get it. Not everyone wins, but then those who get the box, they're competing. And I can run a poll, which is very engaging, and then get people involved to see who won. So don't sleep on competitions. I'm not saying you have to do a mystery box, but figure out something for you. Use your brand. as we did. In this competition, the third video that I did not name is that what they have to do is they have to use ClickUp to plan it. So make sure you do it in a cool way that's, again, not too much. I think I'm going to keep stressing that throughout. As you're working with creators, as you're trying to make your brand pop on social, the key is really not to try as much. The key is to let the creators or let the whole thing that you're running go, but have your brand in there just enough for people to know you did it, but not over the top where they're tired of seeing it. So what I did for this was I created a cool video calling all creators. I went to Target. I made almost like a vlog style of me going in there, grabbing the items, and made it look really cool. And the video did well, and we had tons of engagement, tons of people sign up. But look what that is for you. The next thing you can do is stories. Obviously, have cool stories of what's going on in your office. Have people telling stories. I like to have people telling stories of how they left other brands to come to ClickUp. It's really cool. I also try to interview a customer a week, and I put that on there as well. Value-based is always good. So if you're going to do the reels, obviously the reels that really do well are the really cool looking and the trendy, but those are complex to do. What I like to do is value-based. I like to teach people things. So the cool thing is you can hire creators for this, and you can get them at a good rate if you work with them monthly. There's two advantages to that. One, no one wants to do a one deal and done. I mean, they don't. They don't want to keep searching. These influencers, this is like their job. So they get set with someone, they can learn, they can be identified. It's also more real. If I just see something once, I'm like, oh, okay, they got paid for that. But when I see someone consistently using it in their day-to-day, I really feel like that brand is a part of them, and it should be. So when you find these creators, again, train them, make your brand a part of their day, and have them give value. So if I'm a project manager, I can show how I manage everything, and I can show it with ClickUp. But you don't have to overly state that it's in ClickUp. Just show the work, and I'm like, yeah, by the way, if anyone is asking, this is in ClickUp. Sometimes it's even better to leave that out. Maybe don't even say it's in ClickUp. Show the platform, and then people start asking in the comments, what brand is that? What software is that? And then that gets more people talking. So sometimes the anonymous part of not saying your brand is even better. Again, office posts are great. People love seeing your office. If you're still going in the office, if you don't, show people working from home. Get your employees involved. I have different employees every 2 weeks for Instagram, for LinkedIn, and a few others. I have them sit down. I just write questions about their job, and I have them talk about it. Because think how many people want to hear from a real project manager at a real company they know, or a real marketing person. There's so many times I want to get better at my job, and I hope that you are as well. That's why you're here, and you can help them with this. You can literally get value-based posts that go straight to them talking. Gifting is fun too. So seeding is what they call it. You can create a box. You can send it to the creators, have them open it. Everyone loves the unboxing videos. They work really well, but just give them swag. And a majority of the time, they will always post the swag. So very cheap, easy way. You already want more people wearing your swag anyway. Here's the unboxing images here. So with the mystery box, you can see this is Gerard. Gerard's an amazing creator. He came in like a 3D way, and he opened the box and showed everyone what's in it. It makes people feel like really relatable to what's going on in the content. The other thing I did not mention is how-tos. You can teach so much on content. I mean, think about it. TikTok is one of the most searched. It's almost passing Google for Gen Z now. So if you want to teach people things, use Instagram Reels, use TikTok because it's quick. You can put some music behind it, make it trend, have someone who has a really cool desk setup. For me, I've noticed that really works. And there's only a certain amount of creators who have that right now. So go find them, just like Jan, who I have here. Jan is killer. He has a really cool setup with the lights, but he'll take people on tutorials through ClickUp. Twice a week, I have him doing it across every single platform. Instagram, it seems to do really well. Figma does this as well. They do an amazing job at it. But what they'll do is they'll have them go through, teach different parts, especially things that people aren't getting. So you can go through and you can look on Reddit. You can look on other areas and see what are people asking questions for. A lot of times I ask my customer service team, what is the most common questions coming in? And then I have creators create these videos so they can not only respond to them now with the response, they can send them a social media video, which is super cool. Twitter. I'll be honest. A couple of years ago, I was off Twitter. I mean, I had built a good following, but I just didn't think it was a future. I thought everything was going to video, but I was wrong. And let's dive into why. One, do you guys remember Clubhouse? They did get a lot of money, but they're gone. They're not really doing so much. Twitter Spaces has really popped off. It's doing really, really well, and it's fun. And I'll tell you why. It's easy to hop on. You don't have to have, everything ready. You don't have to be ready for the screen like this, like I am now. You can just, put your headphones on, be on your phone, and you chat, you talk. You can control everything. And people are really getting involved in Twitter Spaces. If you're having a hard time growing your brand, Twitter Spaces is a great way because it is hard to grow on Twitter. I get it. Trust me. I think we're just getting close to like 50 or 60K, but this took time. But a lot of our growth has come from the spaces. If you host a space with 200 people, most likely the majority of those are going to follow your brand, especially if they get value out of it. So we're hosting, I got tasked with hosting 2 spaces a week. I like to beat my goal. So for the first week, last week I did 4 spaces and we grew a ton of followers because with each space we grow followers. But not only that, I'm finding new potential clients. I'm finding new influencers. There's so many creative ways you can use spaces. One, again, you can use that thought leadership, teaching, value-based content. Like right here in this one I have an image of, we spoke about the future of marketing. I had our chief growth officer, Jesse Pooji, who's an absolute legend, Shayla, Krista, who's at Twitter, running Twitter business. So what better than that? And we dove in and we really just spoke. We let people ask questions. The format I like to use on a Twitter space is at the beginning, let you and your host run it. Because if you start letting questions in right away, it can get a little offhand. So let's say you're running, I think 30 to 45 minutes is the perfect time for a space. So allow that time. Maybe if you're doing a 30-minute space, for the first 20, you interview your people. You talk and you get across the things you promised. Then allow these questions to come in. If someone comes in, they're talking too long, try to be mindful of that because a lot of people do want to get their questions answered. And then from there, if you're doing a 45, same way, go for 30 minutes, 35, and then bring people in for questions. But again, you're going to want to have influencers or people who have a large following already, or else you might not get many people in your space. But don't be discouraged. Some of the better spaces I've had, we're only 40 or 50 people in there, but we really, truly help people. We really learn their use cases and help them. So have themes. I've had our HR team come on for a space to say, what is it like to get hired at ClickUp? How do you get hired at ClickUp? A lot of people want to work here. I've had our marketing team come on and give away our secrets like you see here. I've had product managers get on and say how they became a product manager, how they got into space, how they do well at their job. Again, teach. People love to learn. These are just some stats from Twitter Spaces, but they do really well. And what you don't also realize, what I want to make sure that you do realize, is when you do a Twitter Space, it's almost like a paid tweet from the people. They're going to repost it. It looks cool for them, especially if you make a good animation like I did above. But they get a good amount of impressions. Like I got 30K impressions off this one, and that wasn't even one of our best ones. So I've had some get up to 60K impressions, and that's just the ad speaking about the space that's coming up. It doesn't even mention when you get if you see this one, I had almost 1,300 people tune in. That's awesome. Almost 1,000 live. It really caught me off guard. I did not know that was going to happen, but it was really cool. So you have no idea how much Twitter Spaces can reach. And I think I'm just tapping the surface. I can do a lot better than that, and I will. All right, so threads. Threads are an amazing way for Twitter. If you go on Twitter, everyone reads threads. It's the cool thing to do. What I would say here is you need to find people who are really writing things out well, and you need to sneak your brand in. Again, the strategy I use is I have someone give a lot of value and just send them to a doc. As you can see, they don't even say ClickUp here. They just have the link to the ClickUp doc. Same with this one. So a big way to do it is to not overdo it. Find a way to bring in your brand, but in that value you're giving. So don't sleep on Twitter threads. Find people who do well at it. It's an art. You can't just get a regular writer. You need to find someone who really writes threads well. On to TikTok. This is the hot one, right? This is what everyone's talking about. TikTok is the one that I think brands are really a little late to catch on to. Duolingo's done a great job. Ryanair's done a good job, but they have kind of a main character. If you want to keep it tech and you want to keep it cool, I think you have to find your own way. What I found is templates. I love ClickUp templates. So I have people showing their strategies and how they use it. So Adam Digital here, as you see, he reveals his TikTok strategy. He doesn't say ClickUp in the main part, but he does show it. In this video on the right, I have at Product Design. She's amazing. She used to work at TikTok and does an amazing job. What she's doing here is showing how you can do a job board via ClickUp. So she's teaching an actual action item and showing you how to do it. And again, she doesn't say ClickUp actually in this entire video, but in the comments went crazy of people asking. The next thing I'll talk about, and I'll go back to TikTok a little longer. With TikTok too, you want to make sure that you have people who really, again, understand your brand. Have them do different types of videos. Some do well when you have the face, when you do the green screen and you have the face in front of it. Others do well when you get a little more in depth and you dive into, more exact videos. But don't do the videos where it's just hey, you should check out ClickUp. It's great. If you want to do something like that, if you want to run ads on TikTok, definitely use Spark ads. Spark ads are a hack that I'm not sure other people aren't using yet. But what you can do is you can hire the influencer, have them create this video, and then they post it. And what you can do is they give you a code, and then you now control that video. It's like your ad. So you can ramp it up. You can see how well it's doing. You can spend more or less, but you can keep pushing that video to the For You page. So find a creator, have them say, hey, look, are you a marketer? Are you a developer? You need ClickUp for this reason. Those will do well, but make sure you have that hook. You got to have a strong hook. And then again, you can run the Spark ads, put a little money behind it, and really control how well that does. Thank you so much. I hope this helped. This is literally a lot of my strategy. I'm Chris Cunningham from ClickUp. I'm at Cunningham on Instagram. I'm Chris at ClickUp.com. I'm more than happy to help you in any way I can. Thank you so much.